let's take a look at solving one variable inequalities. And I do actually want you to copy these 4 examples we are about to go over in your notebook. So go ahead and write down 12 is greater than x plus 7. Solving one of these is actually, you treat this symbol no different. This is no different than an equal sign when you solve. So the question becomes is, how do I get x by itself? And well, since this 7 is a positive, how do you get rid of a positive 7? You subtract. But what I do to the right side, I must do to the left side. And I get 5 is greater than x. So that's nice and simple. So if I want to show a graph, I'm making an open circle, 5, because it is not an equal sign, and 5 is greater than x. So that means x must be less than, and I'm shading to the left. And if you wanted to test a point, you could say 5 is greater than 0. Is that true or false? Well, indeed, 5 is greater than 0. So this point is true. And we always shade where it is true. Let's take a look at another example. Once again, we're not going to treat this any different. Than an equal sign. So we have to get x all by itself. So what's your first step here? Is get rid of addition or subtraction. And I see you got a positive 7. So I subtract 7. Subtract 7. And I get 3x is less than or equal to 15. Now I still need to get rid of that multiplication by 3. And the opposite of multiplication is divide. So I get x is less than or equal to 5. So I'm going to make my open circle, or sorry, closed circle at 5, because it is less than or equal to. And next I'm just going to test a point. I need less than 5, and it is 0 less than 5. Is that true or false? And that is true. So if that point is true, I will shade to the left. Let's start this like we started the last two. Negative 2x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 20. My first move is to subtract the 6 because I need to get these to cancel out. So then I subtract 6 on the other side. And what I get is negative 2x is greater than or equal to 14. Next, you got to get rid of this negative 2 that's being multiplied, so you divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. And what happens is you get x over here, and 14 divided by negative 2 is negative 7. Now, when you divide by a negative, you have to flip the sign. And this is uber important. You flip the inequality sign when you divide or multiply by a negative. This should be written down in your notebooks. This is extremely important. And if you actually notice, this sign over here, this says greater than or equal to, and my new sign is not greater than or equal to, it's less than or equal to. So when I look at a number line of this, I'm making a closed circle at negative 7, and I need x to be less than negative 7, so that means I'm going to owe more money, so I will be shading to the left. Take a look at one more example. Here, let's start out by distributing. So we got negative 3x minus 18 is less than 18. How do I get rid of a negative 18? Add 18. Well, this side just cancels out. So you just have negative 3x is less than 36. Now go ahead and divide by negative 3 and divide by negative 3. And 36 divided by negative 3 is negative 12. And since I divided by a negative, I have to flip the sign. So this is no longer less than, it's going to be greater. So notice my sign has changed, it's flipped. So if I make my number line I'm going to make an open circle at negative 12. And then x is greater than negative 12, meaning I have more. So I'm going to shade to the right. And this is what my picture will look like.